everything was fine until it wasn't. This is obviously a World War II map, actually one of my favorite YouTube videos of all time. The actual video is called World War II Every Day with Army Sizes by Christopher, but this is a meme edit with Punk by Historical Accurate Channel. So this is obviously still before the Germans have declared war on the Soviet Union. Here's when Italy declared war on Greece and Germany had to go down there and save them. Yugoslavia gets involved, bad things in Croatia. Here we go, now we have Operation Barbarossa. So everything is fine, right? Everything was fine until it's about to not be. So they get pretty far in there, and then obviously things come into a little bit of a standstill. They're gonna move down south, and here comes Stalingrad. Here comes the music, here comes the USSR, here comes the USSR anthem. This is when they start look maxing. Yes, because now what am I even looking at here? Okay, oh, is that the Hoi 4 trailer for one of the expansions, I think? Okay, and the Soviet Union is now going to push Germany all the way back. I guess we're really focusing on the Eastern Front because I don't know if it's going to zoom out and show the D-Day invasion. Bam, here comes no step back policy. Basically, oh yeah, we are literally just going to focus on the Eastern Front as they make it to Germany, and yes, Soviet Union has now taken back some of their revenge. Everything really was fine for a second there for the No-No Germans. Meanwhile, in Switzerland, unamused. Countries that have banned ChatGPT. Wait,
prohibited.
I didn't know ChatGPT was banned. As of when? Did it never get released, or did they ban it retroactively?
Starting in
we're gonna
Europe,
see.
There are 3 such countries.
It's like a TikTok
These
situation.
Are Russia, Belarus,
Oh.
and Ukraine. In all
Oh,
of
okay.
America.
The Ukraine, that's interesting. I was thinking, okay, I wasn't expecting that, but I should have expected those countries to pop up.
The countries without ChatGPT
Brazil,
are
maybe?
Cuba,
Oh.
Venezuela, St.
Oh.
Kitts and Nevis.
Okay, I'm starting to notice a theme here. There's a certain, like, alliance that happens around the world. Okay, I know which ones are going to come up.
And
Okay,
the
so Brazil
Grenadines.
has it.
Meanwhile, in Africa, there are more of
That's
them.
going to be a bit more
In
split.
total, 9 countries ban this AI.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's that specific region. I thought it was going to be like countries scattered throughout Africa. A little bit of the Islamic world, but also you have Ethiopia, an equal amount of kind of like British former African colonies and French.
Moving east, we have Yemen, Bahrain, Syria.
Wow, this is a
Iran,
lot. Okay,
Afghanistan.
never mind what I said earlier. I thought that, you know, the way the world tends to vote in like UN votes and things like that, that's how this map was going to be, but no, that's not the case.
Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan,
I think I have seen this map, but I love the way this
Nepal, Myanmar,
short
Laos,
is
China,
portrayed.
and North Korea.
I knew that was coming.
Lastly, we had the oceanic nations of Tonga, Palau,
That's so random.
Nauru, Micronesia, and Marshall Islands.
That is so random.
I bet you didn't know that so many countries prohibited the ChatGPT.
That is very interesting. Love the way you presented this information. Very nice globe edict, David. Now, many of these countries are concerned about the spread of misinformation, data breaches, and internet censorship. Oh, well, yeah. Obviously, China and North Korea have some of those. And apparently, Italy has become the first Western country to ban ChatGPT. This is getting crazy. There obviously could be more that even follow. The world's last Stone Age island? Oh, yeah, I know about
on
this.
this island are said to be the last uncontacted.
I'm actually surprised. Is that true? I mean, maybe it's true for Americans. I don't know if most people know about North Centennial Island. And I guess clearly a lot of people don't know about this because 1.4 million views in 2 weeks, that's pretty great. I feel like I learned about North Centennial Island like when I was 5 or something. I don't know why. Are they technically living in the Stone Age by definition, though? I think they've made tools. Like, what part of the civilization tech tree are they in? So remember, this area is technically a part of India.
People on Earth. In fact,
There's a
it's
couple
actually
photos of them,
illegal
but
to go within 3 miles of this island.
Oh,
as
wow.
the few people who have stumbled upon North Sentinel Island
They will-
often don't make it out alive.
Yeah, they will oof
Living
you.
here are the Sentinelese, who live in a completely different universe than those just 50 kilometers away in the modern city of Port Blair. Their population is said to be between 50 to 500 people, which
Wow.
is a very broad estimate.
Yeah, it's
Not
interesting. We don't know. We have no idea. I guess we could look at satellite images, but I don't know. I saw this one meme one time. What if, like, we're not protecting these people from North Centennial Island from everyone else? What if they're protecting us from something inside the island? Like some sort of ancient creature.
known about the Sentinelese, which has led some explorers to take the risk of
Yeah,
contacting the
probably
Stone
don't
Age
do
island.
that.
The first example of this came in 1867 when an English
Oh,
ship
yeah.
crashed on the island. The British could have first thought this was a tropical paradise, but without any warning, arrows started flying in their direction. The British hunkered down in the ship and were rescued a few days later, but the following people to visit the island didn't come out as fortunate.
There's lots of stories about that. This is exactly what I was talking about. So the Indian government considers the people from this island to be in the Iron Age. So apparently there is proof they are using iron. They gotta be so confused when trash rolls up on their beaches. What is this plastic stuff? Thank you for that, Uncovering.
Worst moms
Man,
in history.
I love this series by Extra
1781.
Credits. Or actually, it's Extra History, my bad. Apparently George Washington had a bad mom.
1781, General George Washington had a crisis on his hands. As he was in the field, his mother, Mary Ball Washington, was telling everyone back home that her son kept her in poverty. She even...
Ooh. Now, I have to admit, George Washington, you know, seemed like a pretty great dude. Pretty good man. He could have pretty much become like the dictator of the 13 colonies when it became the U.S., when it became independent. He literally stepped down and said, no, like, I have to step down. He could have set the stage to just become like this dictator that ruled the U.S., but he didn't do that. So he must have had an upbringing that was very humble.
to the Virginia government for
It
money,
humbled him a
claiming
bit.
she was an indigent person. Not a great look for a man with political aspirations.
Ooh.
Now, this wasn't remotely true. Washington bought his mother a house and supported her financially. Yet all throughout the Revolution and into his first term as president, Mary would loudly complain in public about George making her live like a pauper. Behavior that became such a problem that
So
George
she-
eventually
Okay, this just sounds a little bit more like she was really annoying, which is completely different than what I was thinking. For a second there, I thought that maybe he would try to accomplish so many things because he was trying to prove his mother wrong if she was like, you're horrible.
to bringing
But I
friends
guess
as witnesses
not,
whenever he
maybe.
gave her money. But the issue started long
She
before
was
that.
just
After
an
his
annoying
father
lady?
died, she kept George's inheritance for her own use for 19 years.
Oh.
However, Mary's financial anxiety had an understandable root. She was widowed at a young age and raised 5 children alone. I mean,
Yeah.
that would mark anyone. And despite the trouble she caused, she truly loved George, helped shape his career, and even changed history when she refused to let him join the British Navy.
Oh, that's
You know, on
hilarious.
second
Oh,
thought,
that's kind
maybe
of funny.
She doesn't belong among the...
I was gonna say, she doesn't sound like one of the worst moms in history. She could just, you know, have been a little better. So like I was saying earlier, our first U.S. president voluntarily decided to decline a third term to safeguard against a type of tyrannical power yielded, like by the British Crown, the very same thing that he fought against. And obviously we've only had one U.S. president that's gone over the 2-term limit that was set by Washington. That was FDR during World War II. The weirdest country borders in the world. I already know what we're talking about, yep, because Belgium and the Netherlands have popped up. It's like an enclave inside of an enclave inside of an enclave. I think 3 times, like Inception style.
Two different countries.
Just deeper and
but
deeper
to
and
understand
deeper.
why, we have to zoom out a little.
Or maybe
bit.
not.
This
Yeah, here it
town
is.
called
Yeah, this is exactly-
Bar-on-Lasalle is divided in an extremely weird way.
Yes,
See, this
I
entire
hate
town
this so
should be a part
much.
of the Netherlands. However, these 19 pieces of land are actually a part of Belgium. It gets even
It's a
more confusing when you
historical
realize that
thing.
inside these Belgian parts, there is 7 more pieces of the Netherlands. The origins of
it's
these
so
strange
messy.
borders can be traced all the way back to the
Yeah,
late 1100s.
that's what I'm saying. It comes back to history. This is just Europe things.
When the royal families of 2
My
different
American
towns had a little
mind
too much
can't
fun
comprehend
trading
this.
land with each other, creating this complete mess of a border situation.
And now we have to deal
in
with
the
it
modern
still
day,
800
it's
years
easy to
later.
think that living here would be a complete nightmare. Like, just imagine how many border crossings you
Luckily,
would
these
get
two
through
countries
just to
are
reach
cool.
the other side of the town. However, since
Luckily-
both the Netherlands and Belgium are in the EU, borders
Yeah.
here are just marked by simple lines with crosses on the ground.
That's
with free travel
so hilarious. This actually seems like a really fun place to visit. Like, I kind of want to go here now.
between the 2 different countries. If the borders end up splitting your house in 2, then you officially belong to whatever country your front door lies in.
Wow, what an interesting way to make it so specific. The front door is the defining factor. Thank you for that, Reed Schultz Geo. I've heard about that situation many times, but there's a lot of good additional information there. Having a chance to fix the borders in the last 900 years? Nah, just let it keep going like that. I'm imagining people like tearing their door down, putting a wall instead, and then moving their door so they can be a part of one country or another. That's had to have happened, right? Things that would shock Americans about
You could
Russia.
still go and see Lenin's body in his mausoleum, which is located in the Kremlin.
Yes. Okay, so I knew about that. I didn't know you could still see Lenin's body. For whatever reason, I would have thought they got rid of that after the Soviet Union dissolved, but I guess not. I mean, I guess how do you get rid of it? You might as well just keep it there as a nice tourist attraction.
Kremlin. Hallways in a lot of apartment buildings look like they're actually out of horror movies. A lot of businesses
okay,
make
I
you
could
put
see
in these
that.
little booties when you go inside so that you don't track dirt in. The public
That's-
toilets look
yeah.
like bomb shelters. They care
True.
so much about appearances. When a building's under renovation, they cover up the outside with an exact
That's really
painting
interesting.
of the building.
That's
And they've got
kinda
their own
cool.
version of Mickey Mouse from the Soviet Union, whose best
Not
friend
surprised
is a
about that.
car-
They have a lot of things like that in Russia and just kind of other countries, which is smart. I mean, I've talked about how Russia has their own version of McDonald's now. I actually really love the idea of like showing what the building is going to look like. Like, I know that maybe probably a lot of construction companies here would feel like that's unnecessary, but I want to know. Like, what if I'm about to buy property across the street? Like, I don't know what you're going to build? Are you gonna build like a giant L-shaped structure saying anyone that lives by here sucks? That's the best I can come up with. I don't know. There's gotta be more. You could probably extend this video concept. Very nice idea though, Tom from Texas. He's not Mickey Mouse, he's Cheb Bershka, and the crocodile is Jenna. Okay, thank you. China's Cosmic Dream. What the hell? Okay, hold on. Wait, what is going on here? What am I watching? So China just bonked. Yeah, China wants to take over. Is that Mongol? Who is that? Okay, we're watching a country ball version of what China wants, I think. So they bonked Russia into being Chinese, because I guess you can do that. They're now bonking. Oh, so this is just China bonking everyone. The Korean Peninsula for sure. They probably do want to bonk North Korea, let's be real. North Korea is like diplomatically extremely annoying to China, I think. They just have to deal with them. That's just their allies, so they have to figure it out. Is that Mickey Mouse? And now they're gonna come over to the US, bonk the US. With Cuba, they're in Central America. Oh, we have planet balls now. And now they're slowly colonizing the solar system and Jupiter, and I guess they're gonna go after the. What the I thought we were gonna be able to dive deeper into. I thought there was gonna a bit more of a. Okay, Bing chilling. What? Who is that? Okay, yes. Right. Okay, I love that solar sphere is very nice. Oh man, I love these geopolitical videos. Sweden just joined NATO.
The Baltic Sea was basically a Russian lake until the collapse of the Soviet Union. But as Poland, the Baltic states, and Norway quickly joined NATO, this left Russia with an isolated naval base in Kaliningrad and a narrow access point in St. Petersburg.
They've hated that for a long time.
Was to militarize Kaliningrad. But Russia's invasion of Ukraine changed everything. Sweden and Finland started.
We have formed NATO Lake, is now what they're calling the Baltic Sea, basically, because this is going to be a pretty big headache for Russia.
Russia a real threat and determined them to join NATO. While Finland would stop the Russians in the east, the Swedes would deal with the Russians in the Baltic Sea.
Oh, we're talking about if it was actually a World War III scenario. So the Swedes would be forced to take on Kaliningrad. Also, Poland and Lithuania could, I mean, they're surrounding it. They'd probably have to worry about Belarus, though, because Belarus inevitably would probably be on Russia's side during like a World War III. Hopefully that stays non-nuclear.
The island of Gotland is basically located in the middle of the Baltic Sea. This would help NATO to easily cut the link between Kaliningrad and St. Petersburg.
Just blowing things up from there.
Most importantly, in the event
well, you got to keep the Baltics alive first. Those are 3 small countries. Hopefully we have, really entrenched them so that Russia doesn't take that real fast.
Invades the Baltic countries.
Because they've done it historically many times.
NATO would be able to reinforce the Baltics from this island rather than trying to
that's a good point.
Through the Suwalki Gap.
That's a very good point. That's a really good point that I don't talk about enough.
Russia's plans to further expand to the west were turned upside down.
I like that video. That was good. Sometimes I see these like TikTok, YouTube short geopolitical, videos, and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. But this is really good. Thank you, Reality Explained. You would think that Sweden, not technically bordering Russia, wouldn't make a big impact, but no, clearly it does.
You ever wondered why the color purple is so rare in flags?
I think I know. I think because purple dye. Something about purple dye. We didn't want to use it for all the flags out there, basically.
You look at the flags.
There's only
of the
2
world,
countries with purple flags.
Only 2 countries incorporate.
Yes, and I think it is Spain and well, now I'm thinking of actually pink. Spain and Mexico have pink, but I think also Spain has purple, right?
Dominica features a purple bird, while El Salvador includes
I am thinking of just straight up pink.
Rainbow containing the color purple. The reason is that purple is naturally a rare color, so before it could be synthesized, it was expensive and therefore not efficient.
One thing that confused me is Republican Spain during the Spanish Civil War, they have the purple version of the Spanish flag.
For flag production.
Which I like that flag. Very nice map, lad. However, there are a couple of historical examples that do have purple. The Sasanian Empire, I'm probably butchering that, Sasanian. They existed over here during the 3rd, 4th, and 5th centuries. Got pretty big too. We really need more purple flags. Actually, one off the top of my head, I believe the flag for the city of Tokyo is purple. I just bought that recently too. And big thanks to my patrons.
DrewI'mYourDadBackWithTheMilkLookOutside.
Kansas was mentioned.
DoOOCHBAGGINS.
aPhatNarwhal.
Carmel
Amateur Archaeology.
DaBeautiful-MEGAN-Underwood.
Fredrik
Henrik
Hedlund.
InquisitorXarius.
Traven's annoying friend.
KirinoIsBestGirl.
LuxembourgLover.
RyeThePie.
I love
The
Tambre.
Mexican 760.
And ZaneyBoi.